Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, Nikki is on the show and Isaia isn't. And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki's joining us today. Isaia out on vacation. Nikki, do you remember, I think this goes back to 2020, there's a zoo in the UK that has gray parrots, and they had a problem with the parrots because somebody taught them to swear.
Oh, yes. I do think I remember those. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, they kind of went viral, I guess, because the guests would come to the zoo and then, like, you know,
They'd
it'd be
swear at
it'd be
people.
funny. It'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, we can get these parrots. They talk. They'll copy us. Let's teach them how to say curse words. And so ever since then, these parrots, parrots live a long time. And so
They live forever. If you have a bird, please text in. I don't understand having a bird as a pet. I'm glad you do. They need people too, but it is hard to have a bird. Like they're pretty difficult.
yeah, the worst thing about birds, besides if they curse, I guess, is that if you don't want it to poop in your house, you got to make it wear a diaper.
Yeah, I think they're pretty messy.
Yeah, that's something that has
That's
me
too much.
totally out on birds. But these birds, since 2020 in the UK, they've had an issue where they're swearing, and the zoo doesn't want, because what if kids walk by or something like that? You can't have parrots swearing at children. That's no good. So
Unless that's the zoo's thing. Like when you go to those restaurants where they're really rude to you.
Yeah.
And like that's what it's known for. Unless the zoo decided to go with that route, it would be awkward.
evidently they don't want it to be their thing anymore. And so they're trying to rehabilitate these parrots. And so what they've decided to do, it's a big risk reward. They have moved the parrots from like the cursing parrots. They've now grouped them in with about like 90 other parrots that don't curse. And they're hoping that the strength and numbers of all the parrots that don't curse will teach the parrots that do curse to say other words or other sounds.
Oh, nice. That's not going to work. They're doing it wrong.
Isn't it totally backward? Now these parrots are going to teach all the other parrots to swear,
the
right?
bad words. It's always the bad thing is what grows the most, okay? Like you just can't expect them to say nice things. They need to separate those birds and wait for them to die off somewhere. Like
Yeah, and they're going to be waiting a while.
Help.
These parrots are going to
I
outlive
know.
us.
So, that means they're ruining the rest of the birds too.
Yeah, as soon enough, you fast forward a few generations and all birds will swear. That's all you're going to walk outside, you're going
That's
to
all
hear.
we get.
It's just birds saying naughty words.
I do like that they really try to put an emphasis on the fact that these birds are saying what they call proper swear words. Like they're not just like normal ones. These are ones that are pretty controversial for a human to say.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying. So they said that if everything goes wrong, they could have 100 cussing parrots.
Jeez. This
Which is what's
beyond
gonna
the pale.
happen.
These parrots, and it's too bad because the parrots don't know any better. They don't know,
Sure.
right? Or do they?
They probably don't, but they say this type of African gray parrot, they mimic noises. So like they'll do like a truck backing up
Yeah.
or like a microwave. So they just want to introduce more noises for them in hopes that they're going to say that sort of sound instead of swear words.
So just increase it's the same thing they say for humans, right? People who curse a
Yeah.
lot, it's because they don't have a big vocabulary.
Yeah, so
And
they
so-
want to increase the sound noise that they have.
Well, we'll see. We shall see if that works. I don't know. I think most people, if they're the type of person that curses a lot, and then they go into like, let's say, a workplace where that's frowned upon and nobody else curses, who wins? Usually the workplace, right?
That's true.
So I'm hopeful
one
for the
la-
parrots.
Here's one last little point. They say some of them have men voices and some of the birds have lady voices. And they say when they're all swearing, it really sounds bad.
Oh, do they like harmonize or something?
It's just apparently too much for people to handle.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully we don't have now hundreds of swearing parrots on our hands in the
If
UK.
not, they're going to
Yeah.
be looking for foster homes for all the birds to just have them each individually and not as a group.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
It's time for our Friday tradition, the weekend watch list on The Riot, letting you know what you could be watching in theaters or at home this weekend. And I will tell you that while I normally say there's something for everybody, this week it is a thin week for truly brand new releases. I'll admit it, not the best week for new movies.
Well, I'm glad you can admit that because I didn't want you to play this off like there was anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like there's a bunch of new stuff. Now, I will say that if you wanted to go to theaters, this is the prime time to start seeing all the movies that were nominated for Oscars earlier this week. Just about all of them that's up for any of the major awards.
They go back into theaters?
They are now in theaters, yeah. So that's probably a lot of people's best bet. I'll also tell you...
Hudson, people didn't want to see it in the first place.
Come
Why
on.
do they want to go back in?
Come on. Now it's got an Oscar nomination to hang its hat, like The Holdovers or something like that. Oppenheimer. Come on. People saw Oppenheimer. It's back in theaters.
I love your optimism when it comes to that.
But let me tell you, if you wanted to do streaming, new on Amazon Prime Video this week is a movie called The Underdogs. Have you seen anything about this?
I have not. I just see it on the list, but I haven't been pushed that at all.
The Underdogs, I wasn't aware this was coming out either, but it's a brand new movie, a comedy, a R-rated sports comedy starring Snoop Dogg as a former NFL player who agrees to coach a youth football team to avoid being sentenced to prison. It kind of sounds like Bad News Bears, but football.
Okay.
But it stars Snoop Dogg, also Tika Sumter, Mike Epps, George Lopez, and Andrew Schultz. So that's
it's a maybe, right? It's a maybe.
I mean, yeah, who doesn't have Amazon Prime anyway? So you might as well get your money's worth out of the subscription. But then there's the other thing that is much more exciting to me, and that is that the new Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning now on Paramount Plus.
Oh, the one from the summertime.
Yes.
Hey, I held out. I haven't watched it yet.
Neither
I haven't paid for it. We can totally have it now.
Yes, I don't know. This weekend it's tough. I might wind up seeing it. We are about to hit the time now that there's 3 football games left. That's going to be a bunch of hours in my week every week that are going to be open to now watching movies, and I'm definitely going to be, one of them will be the new Mission Impossible because...
I'm opening it up, and I'm going to put it in my queue because I have Paramount Plus because I have the Walmart thing, so they give it to you.
Oh, yeah?
So I could I can finally watch something on it.
I'll say Paramount Plus, not the worst streaming service. I can admit that.
Okay.
My parents have that one, and they haven't cracked down on password sharing yet. Paramount Plus, I mean, not my parents. I guess the same is true for both. But yeah, I have Paramount Plus. I use it from time to time, and I'll definitely check out Mission Impossible. Nikki, it's been a while since we chatted about movies. Have you seen anything else of note that's worth talking about?
No, I mean, I just kind of got away from watching anything. Mm-hmm. So, I just haven't seen anything good in a while.
Well, Nikki,
nothing looks good to me anymore.
What about... the last I asked you, you hadn't seen Barbie, but now it's on Max and it's been nominated for many Oscars. So surely you've seen it, right?
And I have Max. No, I still haven't.
Nikki, you've got to watch.
Right? I don't want to.
You need to watch it so that you can know whether you should be upset that Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated and Ryan Gosling did.
See, that's why I don't want to watch it. I don't want anything. I don't want it to watch and be like, have some man sitting next to me like, oh, is this the perfect female movie? Or, is it feminist enough? Is it too much? Is it still made by men in Hollywood? I don't want it to have anything around it. So I think it's too late.
That's why you need to watch it and decide for yourself. Don't let a man tell you your opinion to have on it.
You're the one telling me.
Let this man tell you to watch it and make up your mind.
Stop telling me. You're being a man.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki's filling in for Isaiah today. And Nikki, I was letting people know that you were going to be here today because I know people get real excited about that type of thing for some reason. And... So people, since they haven't heard from you for a while, they've got questions since it's been a little while. And so one of the questions came in from Aaron at 8772 RadioU. Aaron said, I need an update on Nikki's fur babies.
Oh, my doggies.
Yeah,
Aww.
how are the dogs doing? Aaron needs to know.
Still barking away. Still just barking.
But they're all still kicking, right? All 3?
They're all still alive. They are. I mean, my dogs are, I think Rolo is gosh, he's maybe 5, I think at this point, maybe 6. And then Cinnamon and Sugar, they're sisters, such devoted sisters. In case anybody gets that. They are 3 years old, so they're going to be around for a really long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're in it for the long haul. With
I am. I'm still at the bottom part of it.
But
so.
they haven't gotten into any like massive trouble or ruined your new house or anything like that?
Rollo's ruined, like the blinds on the window.
Yeah.
He broke 2 windows of those.
No.
Because he can't. Okay, your and I's dog have the same problem. Because, we each, like my last house, I had a window facing the street.
Yep.
And, my dog, and I think I remember your dog, would just sit there
Yes.
and bark and just go crazy. My dogs bark. I'd like to say, oh, it's just another dog. No, it's also humans too. So like they really don't like someone walking on the property. And so I moved some furniture around and I left him out and just running around, which I usually do. And I come back and like, they're just all broken.
Oh,
they're broken in
man.
half. And I have a camera, which in my house, like just records, like it's not a camera in the room. It's just a camera in another part of it. And it records audio as well. And so I was like, gosh, what the heck happened? And I could see that Rollo barked for like 20 minutes straight because it goes dog bark, dog bark, dog bark, dog bark. And you could just hear him go crazy. And I was like, man, come on. You're medicated. Like he's on medicine to not do this, but they can't help themselves sometimes.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. Now, here's the real question. Did you leave the blinds up all mangled as they are, or have you replaced them, or what did you do?
Okay, you know how I said someone's coming like over this weekend? I have some people coming over. I have someone coming to measure because I had to get new ones. I had to order new blinds.
No, I'm glad you did that. But I mean, obviously, you got to be careful with. I think sometimes I walk, and this happens. My parents live in apartments now, and there's some houses you walk by and you or drive by, and you might not see the dog there, but you can tell. You can just see by looking in. They have a dog because they have the blinds all messed up, and. What I think happens, some people just, you can't afford it. But then some people also, once the dog has gone through enough sets of blinds, you're just like, whatever, I'll just leave the busted ones up there because if I buy a new set, they're just going to get destroyed again anyways. So
I know.
That's
Aaron,
hard to tell.
Thank you for bringing it up so that I can be upset about my dog. He will never change. And so this is just what he does. I love him dearly, but sometimes I just look at him. I'm like, gosh, Rollo, you got to stop. You got to stop doing this.
You gotta roll him up, or you can do what some other people I've also seen do.
Roll up my dog?
No, roll up the blinds.
Roll up the blinds, I know.
Or you can see what I've seen other people do, and that is hang a blanket.
Oh, that looks even worse than when people are walking by.
I think I'd rather have the busted up blinds.
I think so too.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Nikki, did you know that Wendy's has a new breakfast burrito before I just mentioned it?
Was it new or did they have it in the very beginning? Because I remember like a long time ago when Wendy's breakfast very first came out, not after COVID coming back out again. But originally I thought they had like a few more items than they did now. So I couldn't remember, was the burrito new or was it just a return?
I don't know. I actually didn't look that up because I didn't remember them having one, but I mean,
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. If they did, it's been a long time. And I don't know if this one is the same. I think they're at least trying to push it a little differently because if you look at like the promotion for it, they're like our new breakfast burrito with your own packets of Cholula. They've teamed up with Cholula for this.
Yeah.
Except, I don't know if you watched the food fight, Nikki, but they did not give us in our order. They didn't give us our own packets of Cholula.
Well, then what's the point? Was it just automatically, do you get packets, but then they also put it on the burrito or you have no sauce?
No, you're supposed to sauce it yourself. That way you can do it to your own taste.
We go to Wendy's for you to sauce it, people.
Yeah, right?
Not for us to do it.
I'm sure that, I don't know, what would be more upsetting for somebody who orders a breakfast burrito and then it finds out that it has Cholula on it, or somebody who wants their Cholula and then doesn't get it. We at least,
No,
Isaiah and I wanted
if
to
you-
try it at least, and they didn't even give it
If you
the
really
chance.
are a Cholula person, you already have one that you carry with you.
That
so
is right.
Hudson, you should have been prepared on your own.
Yeah, that is right. Well, I'll tell you that notwithstanding, the burrito is actually pretty good. And here's what's crazy. I always picture breakfast burritos, like from fast food places anyways, as being too small to be worthwhile. But this was a huge burrito. It was very
good?
filling. Yeah, it was big.
Well, I would still like to say I do like Wendy's breakfast, but I've been really back on the Taco Bell breakfast. That's a lot better than people remember. And it's not in every area, but man, Hudson, the Wawa breakfast is to die. It is amazing.
I would have to go back to when I was a very small child if I've ever had Wawa breakfast, but I believe that they take care of you.
It is delicious. And then 7-Eleven's still there, but it's not the same. But
Nikki,
the Wawa breakfast is fantastic.
Here's what's crazy though. How are the prices at Wawa?
Very expensive.
Yeah. That's what
It's
it's
very expensive.
I was thinking it must be because Wawa very similar to Sheetz, and here at Sheetz, I went out recently, and it wasn't like I ordered crazy. Me and my wife, $30.
Okay.
No drinks.
So at Wawa's, they've been pushing for a few months now their pizza. So they do their pizza like after 4 p.m. and you can get a large pizza.
Uh-huh.
Guess how much the large pizza
no,
is
I
at the
don't
gas
wanna know.
station? A large pizza is $30.
No, it's not. I was going to say if it's over like 15, you shouldn't order it.
No,
Oh
it
my
is $30. It's so expensive.
So
it's all wrong now.
Have you tried it?
Oh, yeah, I tried it the first time.
Oh,
and
look
Eric,
at you.
Well, I didn't know how much it was.
Oh,
Eric
okay,
picked it
gotcha.
up, and then I found out the second time. I was like, "Hey, that was good. You want to get it again?" And I come from the $9 Costco pizza,
Right.
And so, like when I found out, I've never got it since. That's too expensive.
There's lots of mom and pop pizza places that have to be better that don't charge $30 a pizza. And I mean, even there, it's expensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's outrageous. I can't look at Wawa the same ever again. Gable.
Hudson is the maple syrup, and Isaiah is the power protein flapjack. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, I need you to weigh in on this. You may be able to overrule this Dutch court that has decided in a pretty big case in the Netherlands that it is actually illegal to shoot wolves with paintball guns.
I feel like I need more context, though. Like why and where? Where is this legal? Just anywhere in the Netherlands?
Let's see. It looks like if you're in this is almost feels ironic. If you're in a national park, because the wolves are a menace there. They say the wolves are deviant. And so I guess it's as a form
How
of
can they be deviant? They're so fluffy.
as a form of self-protection, you are able to have a paintball gun and scare off the wolves that way. Because they found that there's wolves there, but if you shout at them, for example, or use pepper spray, actually pepper spray is dangerous, more dangerous evidently than paintballs. So the best way forward they found in this national park, De Hoge Veluwe National Park in the Netherlands, the best way they found to ward off the wolves
Is paintball guns?
paintball guns. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at first, the animal side of me is like, how could you? Like, that's bad. But if you think about it, they say that these are because these wolves show like no fear with humans. And when that happens here, like in the US, it's like, all right, well, that animal gets removed. And you're like, from the park? No, from the earth.
From life.
So they remove it from life. So, I mean, at least it's just paintball. It's not going to kill them. It's just to scare them away.
Yeah. That's the idea. But I also think that if these are national parks where the wolves are, like, what if we just don't have people in the national parks?
Well,
Like,
hang on.
What is the
You know,
point? What
like-
is the point?
Some people like to go to parks, and it's not like I assume someone going to the park is the one bringing in a paintball gun. I mean, I don't know how it is there, but it could be if it's the national park workers that they're allowed to paintball the wolves to get them out. And you would know which one was a bad wolf because it'd be covered in paint. you would
Yes,
know, like,
that's right.
that's a bad one, and you could be able to tell if that's a serious issue.
If the wolf is fluorescent green, that's a sign that wolf means business, and you better be prepared. I do like.
And if you're thinking it's mean, like here we do this for fun. We shoot each other with paintball guns, so it's not the worst. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, now they probably should have the wolves put on some kind of goggles. Because they need protective eyewear. That's the one spot you don't want to be shot with a paintball gun.
And you get 1 hour, so
that's right. That's
1 hour to go out and shoot them.
But I wonder if there are people that like, because I mean, hunting, you don't want, like, if it's an animal, like with deer, okay, you hunt deer because maybe you like eating them, you find it fun for some reason, but it also controls the deer population, right? But people, that's like a hobby of theirs. Are there going to be people now that make their hobby shooting wolves with paintball guns, and so they roll up with all their equipment, and like that's just their weekend is they go to the national park and they see how many wolves they can hit with paintball guns? Where do you draw the line of where it's legal or not?
See, I don't think that's going to happen because they're not getting money out of it. That's usually only if you go and like get the Burmese pythons from the Everglades. Like you get money for that. They say that there's no other solution because the wolf population in this area was almost extinct, and now it's the reverse. It has bounced back too much.
Oh, good for the wolves.
So the wolves are technically still in some areas under a protected status, so they're not allowed to be hunted as much. Oh, yeah,
hunted and probably or
so
removed
they
either.
Can't kill the wolves, but they sure can hit them with a paintball gun now.
Yeah, it does sound. I don't know. Is it cruel? Like it's not
No,
legally
I don't think
cruel,
so.
but would it be like is it cruel to say that it might be fun to just once to see if you could hit a wolf with a paintball gun?
No, and they sure will be pretty after because they'll be like, "Look,
That's
it's a blue
right.
one. It's a pink wolf."
Some people would pay a lot of money to have that with their dogs,
That's right.
and these wolves get it for free, no extra charge.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. RadioU.
I have Nikki here filling in for Isaiah, who's on vacation today.
And it was sad to see he didn't take you on vacation, Hudson.
I know.
Really
I really could
sad.
have used it right now, too. I really, really could have. But instead, I'm here with you talking about some of the craziest things that plumbers claim that they've removed from pipes. And this has just raised more questions for me. This is a survey.
Well, are you going to tell where it is?
Well, it is in the UK. Do you think that makes a difference?
It does, because remember, what was it called? Fatberg.
Yeah. And that's
Okay,
all the
so
way, but
in
I
the
mean,
UK
that's all the way down in like the sewers, right?
I think the sewage and plumbing system in the UK is not as set up or something. Like there's something that makes it very difficult. So they say a lot of plumbing issues can happen at houses there that maybe if you're in like a bigger housing community, you're not going to have.
Yeah. So some of these things are wild to me. So Lego bricks, plumbers.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see Legos.
Some kids playing a game or something. What about rubber ducks? That makes sense too.
Sure.
Socks, teeth.
Ew.
Teeth.
What? Oh, okay. Maybe if you're in the bathroom and you have, would that be dentures and they fall into the toilet?
Yeah, 'cause
and you're not getting them back, so you just flush them?
Your other teeth wouldn't be big enough to cause a blockage, right? So it'd have to be a whole set of teeth.
Or maybe it's dead people teeth.
Ooh, that's right. Yes. If you find a whole set of
There's
whole
a body,
several teeth not attached to anything, that's a sign.
Did you see what's after turkey bones?
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts, which means no one wants to eat them, so you're throwing them into the toilet to flush them.
That's where they belong. Let's be honest. This is ironic. A pipe stuck inside another pipe inside the.
Oh, that is weird.
Inside the plumbing, but the one.
It's a turducken.
Yeah, but the one that throws me for the loop most is a 2-man tent with a sleeping bag. What pipe was that going down?
So is there any other way, if you know more about plumbing, is there any other way besides the toilet that would be going down? Can you think of another way?
Shower?
No, I mean, you have the drain grill
sink
sort of thing.
There's
a sink. There's a stopper sort of thing, like a cover. So is there anything else besides the toilet?
But there's no toilet that has a hole big enough for a 2-man tent, is there? I'm not sure. Maybe there's some other pipe thing and they were like doing pipe work and they just, it washed down or something. Maybe if you get rid of the poles, then maybe a 2-man tent, when it's just like the fabric, maybe that gets spaced out enough that it could kind of get sucked down in there,
But this has a sleeping bag with it.
That
has cushion.
Yeah, that's not fitting down any toilet that I've ever seen.
They said in the UK, there is such high workload for plumbing that they have to turn away jobs because they just can't get to all of the jobs that they're called to.
Dang, yeah, it is. It's unbelievable. Wouldn't you be so upset too if you were the plumber that had to remove a tent and a sleeping bag from pipes?
I think maybe it's one of those jobs like the trade jobs where you get paid a really good amount of money.
You have to get paid a lot. Yeah, I
think you do.
That's got to be for sure. But even then, what amount of money? You just wouldn't be expecting it. You just wouldn't.
Well, I'd be too embarrassed to have the plumber come out. Is that my sleeping bag?
How did that get in there?
I've been
looking for that. I've been wondering where that went.
There it went.
Yeah, you play that off. The ongoing concept.
Well, unless you don't want to go camping so bad that you shoved it down there.
That's
so
right.
That you didn't have to go.
Yeah, I've looked high and low for this tent. I guess
Honey,
we just can't go this weekend. Yeah, we're gonna have to stay home where it's dry and safe. Also, the toilet's not working.
Call the plumber.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on RadioU.
And, man, we just can't go a whole show without mentioning Taylor Swift multiple times, actually. And for all of the fandom and praise that Taylor Swift gets, there's also a lot of problems she's caused.
Mm-hmm.
Including
not just outside the football stuff.
Yeah, that's right. There's just all kinds of stuff, including her Eras tour. It's not over yet. It's basically done in the U.S. I think she has some shows actually coming up here sometime in 2024. But she's doing the Eras tour overseas now, and so she's got some shows coming up in Australia, and that has caused some issues because the Eras tour, many of the shows on the weekends. Somebody here got tickets to the Eras tour for a gift, and then it turns out it's on the same day as her best friend's wedding. She's actually in the wedding party, and so now that's caused a whole rift between the friends trying to sort out, obviously you're not moving the wedding, so can this friend make this Taylor Swift show and the wedding, or what do you do?
Oh, so is she pretty much then said that she's going to the Taylor Swift show and not the wedding where she's, it's her friend and she's a part of it?
It sounds like the friend is trying to convince the bride that she is going to be able to make both.
Oh, don't do that.
And the bride does
not
believe it.
Your friend, or if you've never had a friend who's gotten married, it's like they want you to be there with them, Like you ever just had a friend moment? You just need to be with your friends, supporting them on their day, not at the concert. You can't make both.
Yeah, and it's not just about the wedding ceremony itself either, right? It's about the whole weekend. It's
the
about
party.
The rehearsal. That's all a big deal, and it's just you need, if you're a bride, it's a big day. You need support too. Like you just need that. Getting your hair and the nails done, that's a big deal for a lot of people. So yeah, you can't do the Taylor Swift show in the same weekend. But what can you do? Because that's such a big event too, and somebody gave you that as a gift. So that would be, and they spent a lot of money on that. So how do you get around that? Because then,
I'd probably just sell the tickets because you could get a lot of money then for it too. But they would know that you've sold the gift.
Yeah, do you think
the people who gave it to you?
Yeah, it would be tough for them. They would understand, right? It's a wedding.
I know. Listen, though, when emotions are high, people don't understand.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just how it goes. So whichever side you're on this, there's going to be someone who's mad at it because it's not what you want to do.
I feel like I'm really torn too because I believe I would have more fun at a Taylor Swift show than a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh yeah, no one wants to go to weddings.
Yeah, so I understand, but I also don't think that anybody, even many big Taylor Swift fans, are going to be on the side of the yes, go to Taylor Swift, don't go to the wedding for one of your best friends. That's going to be tough.
Well, they said also it's really the location that's the big problem because sure, someone got married like a Saturday morning and this was a Saturday night.
Yeah, you could
probably make it, but they said that the location of the concert is so far away from where the actual wedding is that they don't see how the person can go back and forth and make it in time.
Yeah, the bride, I think rightfully so, seeing through this and then realizing she's not being made a priority, that Taylor Swift, who this other person has never met, is more important to them than one of her best friends. That's so actually sad to think about.
Sounds like there's either tickets for sale or an opening in the wedding party. So it's one or the other.
So.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, RadioU.
I need to know your ruling on this. Is this guy in Italy, is he a hero or a villain or somewhere in between? They call him Flex Man. That sure sounds like a hero, doesn't it?
I guess he sounds like a superhero.
Flex Man.
Is he flexible on time?
He uses, I don't know if you know this, that in Europe, angle grinders made by a company, well-known company there, called Flex. And so the reason this guy has earned this moniker is because he, for the past 8 months, has been using an angle grinder to cut down poles that have the speed cameras on them.
Oh, really? Okay, so I thought he was cutting like wires, but are you telling me he's cutting down like the poles that they're on?
He's taking down the metal poles that support the actual speed cameras, knocking them down.
I love that.
And apparently he's been doing this for 8 months and getting away with it. And so some see him, of course, as a hero. Some see him as, I guess, the government and the police see him as a little more of a criminal that needs to be stopped. So where do you fall on this, Nikki?
I don't know. I mean, it's not legal what he's doing, but he said he goes out usually between 1 to 2 in the morning and he hits the base of the metal poles that are supporting the speed cameras. So I think it's even extra bad that he's taking the entire system out instead of just disabling the cameras. So though I applaud what he's doing I don't want to get a ticket from a speed camera as well. I think it's probably wrong. But they're going to hide this guy.
He's going too far, you're saying.
I think so, probably.
Even though possibly his intentions seem good. Speed cameras, they're
have you ever gotten hit with a speed camera? Have you ever gotten a ticket from one?
You know, want to know what's funny?
What?
Is that I one time got caught. I don't know if I should admit this. One time, a speed camera caught a car that I was in, but the car was not registered to me. It was registered to my dad.
Oh, and he got the ticket. Aww.
Yeah, so...
Well... No, speed cameras are a very testy sort of.
They are. I'm sure
highly contested
texts
situation.
are already coming in. People saying you should never pay a speed camera ticket because they cannot prove that it was you. And I mean, it's not like they've never heard that before. There's other ways around that where they've heard the argument. But I know some say too that if to get convicted of a crime or whatever, to have to be punished, you have to actually face an accuser, and a camera is not an accuser. So,
you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of debate around it.
I don't know. That's still questionable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll say I'm with you. This guy's intentions are good, but cutting down the whole pole, that's a crime of its own. So
that's right. It's a Robin Hood, though.
Yeah,
it's a little shady, but still good.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.